What up, Sage Nation? It's your boy, the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend. Sage is back at it again with another video. And so, how y'all doing? Hope y'all are good. A little update about the last video that I put out, talking about the owner of the bar that said he would maybe call me on Monday or Tuesday for a trial shift on Saturday. So good news. I'm gonna go in on Friday for a trial shift. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank God, my efforts haven't gone to waste. And topic for today is gonna be pretty much a freestyle, but I'll try to keep it, in order, not try to go off the rails here too much. So the first one I'm gonna talk about is generational curses and what that looks like in real time and in reality. So whenever people mention generational curses, people think it's like woo-woo and spiritual nonsense, right? But it actually manifests itself in pretty visible ways if you're paying attention, right? And so today at my shift, I was doing another company barbecue, and at the end of the shift when we were cleaning up, there's these serving dishes where you put like a silver tray in that has a torch under it to keep the food warm throughout the barbecue. So after, when I was cleaning up, I took the little torch thing out. It's like a little metal can that has a gel inside that's flammable, and when you light it up, it turns up. So I took it out. The can was hot, and I took it out, and the lead chef who I was working for, like helping that shift, he gave me some direction about to be careful with the torch, but he wasn't very specific. So I took it out, the little metal thing, and I put it on the table that has a tablecloth over it. And so because it was so hot, I didn't think it was hot enough to make a hole in the tablecloth, but it did when I set it down. And so he comes up to me and kind of digs into me a little bit. And he was like, "Oh, I told you, you shouldn't have done that. Now the tablecloth is trash. Grand scheme of things, it's a tablecloth or whatever. Y'all gonna get a new one, But I had some issues with him previously and a couple shifts beforehand where I had to check him about the way he was talking to me. So when he was digging into me, he did it with a better tone, even though he didn't give me proper direction. He at least had his tone changed a little bit. But if I didn't check him a while back, he would have probably tried to lay into me full on yelling and whatnot. And so and as it was happening, I was kind of beside myself a little bit, just thinking, why do humans do things like this? Why do they, they don't give proper direction, or they don't see that sometimes it's better to show people than to tell them, because people can't see what's in your head. So when you're giving directions, it's hard to just visually grasp what you're saying and then do it the way you're thinking. So you have to walk over and show them exactly what you mean, or tell them exactly what you mean, to avoid any problems. But people don't think that far ahead, or up to that level. They're just base ego, mental, whatever. And so I was thinking about it, and the reason why he lays into me like that is because that's the same self-talk that he has for himself, right? Because if you are an evolved being, then you know to speak to yourself kindly and deal with yourself kindly, kindly but firmly. Like, don't let yourself get away with things like not doing things that you're gonna say, not, fulfilling promises to yourself and all that. Be kind, forgive yourself for your shortcomings, and then strive to be better. But you can see that people aren't like that in the way that they deal with you, you know? And so he's like digging into me like, oh, I told you, now it's trash, like, that type of thing. And I just realized that he probably got that from his dad or something. He's like a Middle Eastern man with a little accent. He doesn't speak full English. He speaks like in just like certain words, like, so he's missing like the transition words and whatnot. So I'm like, he's probably like a Middle Eastern man. He has like immigrant parents, working tooth and nail to make it in the country. So his dad was just probably like just this asshole who only was worried about providing for them, which isn't bad, but like, that type of man, like, oh yeah, you need to be like stern and that type of energy. So I'm like, his dad probably would dig into him in these ways when he was younger, and so that's why he thinks it's okay to like, to dig into other people that way, because like hurt people, and it's a fact, because like people want you to feel what they felt, because they're thinking, if I felt it and survived, then you should be able to take it too, and if you can't, you're weak, type of energy. And so I decided to have some empathy for him in that situation, because I was like, I was like, I don't really care. Like, his tone was fine. It wasn't like bad. It was just like, oh, I told you, like, you should have, So at least his tone was different, But I felt bad, because I'm like, yeah, like, I understand why you're doing this, because I wouldn't do some shit like that. I would know to like give them or give people proper direction, because I know that people can't see what's in my head. You have to walk over there. You have to have that patience as a human being with people, because there's no point wasting your energy getting mad when it's your fault that they didn't do the thing the right way. Plain and simple. And that's like what generational curses look like. It might not just affect the immediate child or whatever. It affects the people that they come in contact with, because now if he doesn't meet someone like me who didn't check him previously, now he's going to put that energy out into the universe to someone who is not an evolved being, and they're going to carry that negative energy. They're going to feel bad about themselves, and then they're going to also pass it to the next person who's like a victim of them having a bad day, and then they lash out, and then it's passed on and passed on and passed on. And then if the chef has kids, he lays into his kids the same way, and then they do it, and then they pass it on to their kids, and then whoever's energy or whoever comes in contact with them, they pass that energy on because they're in a bad mood. So it's just like, it's a whole thing. And that's why the world is the way that it is today, because that's just propagating through time and different family trees and family lines of people not letting it end with them. So in small little ways that you show empathy to people, it makes a bigger difference than you may think. Because even though I had to check him, his entire energy, because I've worked with him multiple times now, his entire energy throughout the shifts has been a complete 180, And then I've looked at him like, this is a good lens to have just in general. Everyone is just a little kid that just grew up. I know that's cliche and that's like basic knowledge, but like, it's a fact. Everyone's just a little kid, and then I just look at him like, yeah, you were a boy once and your dad ripped into you, and now that's your mode, But then until you met someone like me who wasn't gonna give him venom back, his energy was different. He's lighter now. He like asks me personable questions. Like today, he asked me like, it was, hey, where do you live? Like, just trying to like shoot the shit. He didn't do that before. It was all just venom, And yeah. And I think that I made a little positive. He even started dressing better. The first time I met him, he looked like he looked like death. He looked like hell. he dresses a little bit better now, he engages with the guests better, and then someone like him as well, like he's probably having, because even me, I'm having issues in the dating world, so I can only imagine someone that's as devolved as he is. He probably hasn't had sex in God knows how long, or if he has, he had to pay for it, and it was like dehumanizing for both parties, because not only are you sleeping with a girl who doesn't want to sleep with you, you paid for it, and then on top of that, she's also like, in her mind, like, oh wow, like I'm really giving up my body for money. So that's just like a bad thing for both parties, and so yeah. I still have a couple more topics. I was on the bus and I just saw this little boy come up. He ran into the seat before his mom did, or before his mom got on the bus. So I was kind of just like, who's this kid by himself? I'm just looking at him like, man, like, you don't know what you're in for. It was a little boy. You don't know what you're in for. Like, if you have a sister, she's lucky because she can pretty much get away with not evolving past this age mentally. Because, women are children, right? The majority of them are children. It takes a special woman to not use her plausible deniability as a woman to her advantage her whole life. It takes a special woman to do that, but pretty much they don't really need to mature past that age. They can learn more fancier words and little charismatic traits and dress better and have a woman body, but pretty much that's what she would stay as. But yeah, I was looking at him like, man, like, poor kid. Look at him having the time of his life, kicking his feet on the bus, looking at all the people and like in excitement and wonder. I'm like, damn, bro. Hey man, enjoy it while it lasts. Enjoy it while it lasts. But yeah, another topic. I was just watching a video on my way back from work on the bus, and this guy was talking about why women can never take accountability and whatnot. And it's true. And then it kind of like a light bulb went up in my head. I think he said something that like made me think a little bit. And I know I've already talked about this, about how women can't love you the same way that you love them. And the reason why is, and don't get me wrong, some men do this as well, but the majority is women. Like women determine their self-worth by how many people envy them. Women determine their self-worth by how many people envy them. And so if you're like, she can't just like, yeah, you can be charismatic, you can be handsome, you can be tall, but if when she talks about you, her friends don't envy her, unless it's a very special woman. If when she's around you, her friends don't envy her, time is ticking till the end of the relationship, because like the majority of them don't know how to have internal happiness. They don't know how to be okay on their own, content on their own. They need external things, external validation to give them that feeling that, yes, I'm allowed to feel this way because I have this, And the biggest thing that makes you a man is when you have internal validation from things that you've survived, things you've endured, things that you left behind in the past. That's what makes you a man. And because women don't have to do those things or endure those things, they don't get past that oh my God, I can't say it. They don't get past that stage of development, And yeah. So like, for example, um, they went out to the club one night and they saw how much attention and validation a girl with a BBL was getting. And so now, because she doesn't have a BBL, she feels like like she's insecure and not allowed to feel good about herself until she gets that BBL. And then she goes and pays for the BBL for the instant validation instead of going to the gym and working for it and having to grow as a person, because going to the gym to develop a body requires discipline and sacrifice. So instead of going through that little stage, they go straight for the instant gratification validation thing. You know, another example would be going back to what I was talking about before, her not or you not being rich as a man or having things that she's able to brag about whenever she's talking with her friends. She feels like, oh, my friends are doing better than me. They have a man that they can brag about, and I feel bad. This is not a good choice. I need to get rid of him. Even though you are 100 in all the other stats that matter, not more, because it is something to have your shit in order. But then a lot of men, their shit is only in order because of what their parents did for them. You know, like what their parents provided for them. You know, having good income or good job. Like, it wasn't because they built a business from the ground up, which would take a lot of dedication and sacrifice and, you know, becoming a better version of yourself to attain. But they just were given that because it's their birthright. And so on paper, they might be better than you because they have those things, but it's like they're not the man that it would take to have those things. So, but you are, because you're trying to, you know, get your shit together organically without the help of your parents. So while you might be 100 in that spot, they're 100 in this spot, and this spot matters more in this materialistic realm. So then she's gonna leave you and go for the guy who has a yacht or something that she can brag about with her friends. Like, oh yeah, he has a yacht. Let's go to his yacht. You know. So yeah, yeah. Women only measure their self-worth by how many people envy them. And yeah, another topic. I don't believe in friendship. Hear me out. Hear me out. I don't think friends are a real thing. I think it's either you have family or you have you're nothing. I guess acquaintance would be good for the other thing, but even that is just like, because like acquaintance would be like a business friendship. But I feel like if you're in business with someone, then over time you guys should develop a relationship that's so strong that you guys are like family. You know, I think having friends is it's actually like a setback. You know, I think it's a setback because friends can hold you back just because you've known someone since day one. And now that you guys are grown men, they're like a hindrance to your life. You shouldn't keep them around in like fear of being looked at as fake or acting different. Nah, like you're dead weight now. I need to shed this dead wood. You know, friends will literally hold you back, and they might use the time that you've known each other as like leverage over you. You know, so yeah, you only have family or friends, because if I can't trust you with like the keys to my house or the keys to my car or like some what's it called, sensitive information, or you know, just things of that nature, then how can I really, I can't call you, I would only tell those things to my family. And like, if you know that as a friend, that you're pretty much family. If you slept at my house, you've shared food at the same table under the same roof, you know, that's like your family. You can't just, you have to graduate past that point of being just a friend. And what's a friend? A friend is just like, it's either your family or you're not, you know? And having a friend or being a friend is just, because like, for example, right? I can go a year without talking to my brother. And the time that we pick up the phone, it's like, we're good, we're cool, you know? But some friends, if you don't hit them up regularly, they feel like y'all fell off. But it's like, nah, like if you're really like if we're really as close as we think we are, no matter how much time passes, we're gonna be good. And that's how it should be anyways. Like as a man, you don't need to be updating your boys about everything that goes on in your life. It's not needed, you know. So yeah, you only have I don't believe in friendship. It's either family or nothing, you know. And I'm trying to think of the other topics I had. I think that covers it. Shit, unless I think that pretty much covers it. Yeah, that's it. 20-minute mark, pretty much. That's the video. Y'all be good. Sage is out.